Sleeping Dogs is a game with an interesting history. Originally, it was to be the third game in the True Crime series after True Crime Streets of LA and True Crime New York City, and to be called True Crime Hong Kong. However, after New York City failed to meet expectations, especially in terms of sales numbers, Activision, the publisher, cancelled Hong Kong, at the time being developed by United Front Games. However, just a few months later, Just Cause 2 publisher Square Enix picked up the publishing rights to the game, but not the name of the game, so the near-complete True Crime Hong Kong became Sleeping Dogs. Let's see how it turned out. Sleeping Dogs follows the story of Wei Shen, a revered Hong Kong police detective who is going undercover in order to take down the violent triad gang Sun On Yi.
You must be a very dangerous man, Wei Shen. That is exactly what we want people to think.
And what a story it is! Depicting an excellent, if perhaps slightly over-the-top representation of gang life in China, the story utilises great actors of the like of Will Yun Lee playing Wei Shen, as well as James Hong, Lucy Liu and Emma Stone. Not only that, but the dialogue is a perfect blend of English and Chinese, though I'm not sure of the dialect, with most of it being in English, but with the occasionally Chinese expression or sentence slipping in there, which really adds to the authenticity.
Winston has been a good friend to me. I've tried to do right by him.
I like the way you think. That's the attitude that makes us strong.
Add to that the great ambience of the open world, and you've got yourself a game in which you can be really well immersed. But of course, it's not all about story. Sleeping Dogs has a number of different elements to its gameplay, and it does pretty much all of them very well indeed. The melee combat system, which plays a huge part in the game, having a bigger role than the gunplay, is really great. Stringing together combos feels very fluid, Wei's lethal mixed martial arts moves look and sound awesome, and there's a great level up system for introducing new moves and abilities. In this way, it's kinda similar to the system used by Batman Arkham City, and the combat system is nearly as good, but not quite. Occasionally, I felt I was being locked into animations, so I couldn't counter an enemy attack in time, and the enemy AI was sometimes a little inconsistent. For example, every now and then I'd find myself able to grapple a heavy enemy, which isn't normally allowed. The system's close, too, to being one of those which has too much of a reliance upon the counter mechanic, but it makes up for that by throwing in a few types of enemy which aren't always susceptible to the counter, and overall the system's very solid. The driving's great too. The developer, United Front Games, didn't go for the very realistic driving feel that was utilised in Grand Theft Auto 4. Instead, the driving feels very arcadey, and the addition of the ramming ability, the feeling of ridiculously high speeds, and surprisingly clever police chase AI makes speeding around the streets of Hong Kong very satisfying. It's very easy to get about without a car as well though, as the game makes quite a deal of its excellent free-running system. While not quite as mobile as you are in, say, Assassin's Creed, dodging through Hong Kong's dense crowds, climbing up scaffolding to hijack a CCTV camera, or sliding over cover in slow motion, weapons drawn, shooting enemy triads in the face, it adds that extra sense of freedom I always felt was missing from Grand Theft Auto. The game's graphics are very nice indeed. Being originally made for consoles, the game makes no use of any special DirectX 11 features, however it doesn't really need to. The designers have done a brilliant job in creating a stylized, bustling version of Hong Kong. The various neighbourhoods have nice variety, and I particularly like the look of car lights and neon signs reflecting off rain-soaked roads in a storm. Add to that the fact that the developers offer a free high-resolution texture pack from Steam for PC users, and you've got a pretty darn good PC port on your hands. The only real criticism I have is the slightly poor mouse and keyboard controls. I much preferred using a gamepad, as you can see from the Xbox 360 buttons appearing in the recordings, but that may just be a personal thing. I don't feel the free roaming outside of the story offers quite as much as it could to keep me engaged, but there is plenty to do. Cockfights, street races, stranger missions, fighting clubs, they're all part of the neatly wrapped package, and with further downloadable content expected in the future, Sleeping Dogs should be a welcome addition to anyone's library. Available from Ultimatum Games at ugkeys.com.